Impact Wrestling has a pay-per-view in less than 24 hours, but everybody's talking about Tessa Blanchard for all the wrong reasons. What's up, folks? Fred Richani, TSC, your home for sports news, updates, interviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. My goodness, Tessa Blanchard has been trending for the better part of this Saturday at the time I'm recording this. You might be wondering why. Well, she sent out a tweet that seemed rather empowering, and that tweet read, "Hey women, try supporting one another. Cool things happen." Seems like a nice tweet, right? She's challenging for the men's World Heavyweight Championship. Yes, some people might think it's ridiculous. Wherever you fall on that side of the spectrum, the reality is it's kind of cool. I mean, here's a woman who is legitimately the top star of Impact Wrestling, a TV product, and she's headlining their pay-per-view. That's kind of cool. She's also a great talent. What could possibly have gone wrong? Well, you may recall a few years ago hearing rumblings and rumors that Tessa had some type of attitude issues, backstage issues. Maybe you've never heard that at all. And I think if you haven't, it's okay, because let's keep it real here. Not everybody's on Twitter. Not everybody's on Facebook. Not everybody reads the forums and news and stuff like that. I remember hearing vaguely that she had just attitude issues and some confrontations. I never heard anything else really beyond that. But again, I didn't necessarily go digging for it either. There's only so much news, whether it be wrestling or real life, you could consume. So, Allison Kay, a.k.a. Sienna, former TNA Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion, NWA Women's World Champion, really talented professional, well-respected veteran. She quote tweeted Tessa Blanchard, and it read, "Remember when you spat in a black woman's face and called her the N-word in Japan? Was that you, quote, supporting women?" The audacity of this tweet. So here is a well-respected veteran wrestler who's booked in a lot of places, including WWE and Impact Wrestling in the past, and most recently NWA as far as a national level, calling Tessa Blanchard a racist, saying that she used the N-word and spat in a black woman's face. And then the plot thickens. Chelsea Green, who just debuted on NXT TV, also was on Raw the last couple of weeks, quote tweets Tessa, "You've consistently put down, bullied, and belittled countless female coworkers, including me. Is that support?" Then, later in the day, Black Rose, aka La Rosa Negra, she quote tweets and she says, "Sienna and Chelsea Green, thank you so much. That's my story. Yes, that happened in Japan in 2017. If Tessa does not remember it, I can. I'm not a mean girl with any coworkers around the world. Be kind of racist is not ridiculous. It is a sickness." There you have Rose confirming, hey, you know what? You did do that because I was a victim of that. But it gets worse. Isla Dawn of NXT UK. As somebody who experienced your bullying firsthand and received regular verbal abuse, was spat on, had rumors spread about me, dealt with multiple attempts by you to blacklist me from other companies, plus more, I just pray that you now follow your own advice. Priscilla Kelly, remember publicly putting me down on Twitter last year for something that didn't involve you whatsoever, then continuing to drag my name to other people for it? And then Allison Kay had a follow-up, and she said, "The reason I've never said anything until now, it was because it was not my story to tell. I made it clear to La Rosa that I had her back, and today was the day she gave me permission. You can't force someone to come forward, but you can be there for them. That is, quote, supporting women." Then there's Rebel, a.k.a. Tanea Brooks, formerly of Impact Wrestling, currently on the hair and makeup crew for AEW. She says, "I like to think people can change over time, but I can confirm the bad behavior and non-supportive attitude in Japan. I was there." Tessa then tweeted out a couple things. She said, "Not true. That's my statement and the most attention I'll give it because of how ridiculous it is." She also quote tweeted Chelsea Green and said, "I've never been anything but kind to you. I've dealt with mean girls since I started. Not saying I'm a saint. How I've had my ups and downs and made silly decisions. Such is life. You have zero merit in your comments. Instead, putting me down here for a little clout. You've got my number." Now, to the best of my knowledge, at this time I'm recording this, Tessa has not directly acknowledged the N-word accusation. I guess she kind of sort of did. Then Shanna, as if it couldn't get any worse, Shanna, who's a well-respected women's wrestler as well. You may have seen her in AEW. She said, "She did more nasty stuff in Japan. Never forget. Practice what you preach, sweetheart. I stand by La Rosa. She's a fun-loving person who would never disrespect anyone. Much love to you, Rosa." Wow. To summarize this story right here, the top performer in a national organization, that being Impact Wrestling, which has TV throughout Canada and the US via AXS TV and the Fight Network, she is being accused of using the N-word. She's being accused of bullying. She's been accused of using her influence to hold people down. That is a bad deal. You could say, hey, backstage attitude, beef, whatever. And you know what? I don't even think this would be that big of a deal if she was outed as a bully, okay? It's not good. It's pretty bad. Don't get me wrong. Bullying is bad. But when you add the racial component to it, when you add the fact she's spit in a black woman's face and called her the N-word, that's a pretty bad deal. And if you're Impact Wrestling, look, you have a hard enough time getting attention on AXS TV in the States, which doesn't have a lot of clearance. You have a hard enough time selling traditional pay-per-views in a post-WWE Network world. And now you have this happen less than 24 hours before Tessa Blanchard is challenging Sami Callihan for the Impact Wrestling World title. If I were Impact, I'd beat Tessa. If you want to continue to book her, whatever, look, it's well within a promoter's right to book Tessa or somebody else that is quote-unquote problematic and linked to unsavory things. But it is also well within my right as an observer to say, you know what? I don't give a damn. I ain't going to cover it. I ain't going to talk about it. I'm going to block it out of my mind and, well, y'all have fun in darkness. So it's a really bad look, and it's very disappointing because I am a fan of Tessa Blanchard's work. I think she has seriously improved these last couple of years, but it's not just how you act in the ring, it's how you act out of the ring. And before people bring up examples of other dudes, other dudettes who have acted out of turn before, who have been linked to unsavory things before, that are now in national promotions, look, two wrongs don't make a right. Assuming this is all true, based on all these accusations, I mean, she got what's coming. This is some serious karma right here between not being signed by WWE, between getting trashed like this. And people might say, well, she could change. People can change over the course of time. Notice, this is in 2017 that this happened. She was still in her 20s. That's an adult. Now, there's a chance that she grew up since then, that she has been more mature. I haven't heard a lot of stories about backstage confrontations or anything like that from her in the last couple of years. But what that also shows me is that she can't be that mature because obviously she didn't make amends with the people that she wronged, particularly La Rosa Negra. And that, to me, is a serious deal. If Rosa's career has been negatively affected because of that incident, then to me, and I don't know whether it has or it hasn't, I'm not backstage, but I know for a fact I haven't heard as much about La Rosa Negra as I did a few years ago. I remember actually watched her live. I think she had a match with Angelina Love, and I was sitting next to Shelton Benjamin, of all people, who was there for a signing, and we were both thoroughly impressed by her. And for a while, I just kind of never heard about her again. And maybe that's why. I mean, I know she's still been active here and there, but you never know. There's a deep political underbelly in any entertainment field, pro wrestling, combat sports especially. I don't know where you go from here if you're Impact, but I know if you're Tessa Blanchard and you hope to have a prominent career in professional wrestling, if you ever want to get into WWE, if you ever want to get back into Stardom, if you ever want to do anything with AEW, you got to get in front of this story and you got to own up to it. If that is truly the case, and it sounds like it is, that you use the N-word and spit on a woman's face, you got to own up to it. You got to make amends. It might be too little, too late. I'm inclined to not give a damn about her going forward and just saying, you know what, screw you, man. That's just uncalled for and disgusting behavior. That's me personally. But for any fans that she still has or might have or might gain down the road, for the sake of her own bank account, for the sake of her as a human being, it's probably in her best interest to just put out a video, put out a statement, reach out directly to Rosa as well, and just say, look, this is what happened. I was wrong. I effed up. I own up to it. Try to be as contrite as you can 3 years after the incident, and let the chips fall where they may. I don't think it's up to me to forgive Tessa or what have you. You know what I mean? I think it's up to the person who was offended. I think it's up to the people that were offended. I think it's any fan of color that's offended. It's up to them. And what can I say other than this is a really bad look? There's no place in any field for this kind of behavior, let alone entertainment and professional wrestling, where politics can run rampant and these situations can negatively affect a person's career, the victim's career in this case. So if you were Impact, what the hell would you do in this situation? If you're Tessa Blanchard, what would you do? And, if you're a promoter, would you be booking Tessa going forward? Let me know. Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this update, like, share, take care. Please subscribe and enable notifications. Stay tuned. We got some major interviews. I've got some major 2020 goals, including conducting at least 100 interviews this year. Only got 94 more to go. I got an interview with WWE Hall of Famer The Godfather coming up very soon, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the matches and please be nice to each other. It's 2020, y'all.